Welcome to day one of the Calisthenics 2.0 series. This series brings you 16 40-minute follow-along bodyweight strength workouts as a complete 4-week program, which will increase your strength, build lean muscle, and improve your mobility. The whole series can be done anywhere with no equipment and minimal space. It's suitable for a range of abilities from beginner to advanced, as there's multiple difficulty levels shown for exercises when needed. Let's kick off day one with a full body routine, starting with a warm-up of 5 movements, 40 seconds each, linking one straight into the other. The first movement is a squat to good morning. Start with your feet about hip width apart. We're going to put fingertips on the temples, squat first, and then hinge into that good morning. We're going to alternate between the two, keeping the chest nice and upright for the squat, pulling the hips back, lifting the tailbone for the good morning, on a quad stretch for that squat, and a hamstring stretch with that good morning. It's okay to slightly unlock the knees for the good morning, but if you bend them too much, you will lose the hamstring stretch. Next, we're going to do an angel mobility. I'm going to kneel, but you can do this standing, hands behind your back, pull the elbows together, reach down, draw that angel wing round, behind the head, close the elbows and chin, opening them out, reach up the center of the back, relax the elbows forwards, pull them together, reach down, draw that angel wing arc around the back of the head. Next, we're going to do some wrist clocks. So if you start, your fingertips pointing to 12 o'clock, walk around, and then round again, pointing to 6 o'clock. Each time you reposition the hands, you can lean into it. You can even go past 12 o'clock, facing them in. Just keep walking around the circle, slightly leaning gently into the stretch each time. It's really important for calisthenics to get the wrists warmed up, get some mobility in them. Okay, into a high plank position. Take the left foot on the outside of the left hand, reach that left hand up towards the ceiling. Take the right foot on the outside of the right hand, reach that right hand up to the ceiling. If you're struggling, I recommend putting the foot a little bit wider. It'll make the mobility easier. When you're finding it easy, you can keep it nice and narrow next to the little finger. Try and straighten up through that back leg to feel a nice hip flexor stretch as well. And prepare for the next movement to be lying on your back. Okay, straight onto the back. Knees up, 90-degree angle. We're doing some side to side drops. You don't need to drop all the way down. Probably just dropping about 2/3 of the way, maybe 3/4 if you're fairly mobile. If you're struggling for space, just bend your arms at 90 degrees like this. If you've got loads of space, you can stretch your arms out. Just looking for a little bit of core activation and a lower back release with this one before we get into the main strength sets. Okay, the first of 3 sections, we're going to do 5 exercises. We're doing 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 3 rounds before moving on to the next one. Starting with some push-ups. And don't worry if you can't do full push-ups, you can do negative only push-ups. That means just doing the way down and then resetting off the knees, or you could just stay kneeling the whole time with some kneeling push-ups. Let's go. 40 seconds, nice smooth pace. Whatever variation you're doing, I want your elbows to be tucking somewhat back towards the pockets. So from a bird's eye view down, from the torso out to the elbow, you should make an arrow shape, not a T shape. Keep the glutes engaged, slight pelvic tilt, draw the belly button in. Hips and chest should be coming down in sync with one another. Okay, next up we're going to work the posture muscles of the upper back with some prone Y raises. So I want you to lie face down on the mat, keep your chest down, minimize the lower back engagement. We're going to be lifting the hands up, holding for a moment at the top of each rep, making a Y shape with the body and arms. Okay, onto the feet. Let's get the lower body involved with some split squats. I'm going to start with the left foot forwards, right foot back. You're going to be sinking that back right knee down as close to the floor as you can, or even just gently touching. You can come back up. You don't need to fully lock out that front knee. We can keep a little bit of tension by just going 5% shy of a lockout of the front leg. But I want you to get that full stretch at the bottom, getting as low as you can, hopefully gently touching the floor. Make sure that front knee is not collapsing in towards your big toe. Keep it pointing straight or even subtly turned out if you're prone to collapsing in. Okay, switching sides, we've got 20 seconds between legs. So this time I'm going to have my right foot forwards, left foot back, avoiding that inward collapse of the front knee. Taking your time on the way down, a little bit faster on the way up. So tempo wise, we're thinking 3 to 4 counts down, 1 to 2 counts up. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, on the second round, you could turn this into a Bulgarian split squat by elevating your back foot up on a bench, sofa or chair. Okay, I'm going to do a hollow hold now. The point of the hollow hold is to brace the core without collapsing the lower back into an arch. You can do the full hollow, the half hollow, or the tuck hollow. So if you're going for this full hollow, you're going to straighten out the legs, reach the arms overhead, keep the head and the upper back off the mat, bracing the core so that there's no gap appearing here. As you can tell, it's difficult to talk if your core's braced. If you can't keep your back flat, move to one of the easier variations. Okay, take a quick 45-second rest. If you're doing strength training, it's important to take some rest intervals. I think that's something a lot of other workouts miss out. So we want you nice and fresh to start round 2 with those push-ups, whether you're doing the full push-ups, negative only or kneeling. The workout's going to start feeling more intense as the volume adds up. you're doing the negatives, you do exactly the same as a full push-up on the way down, maybe a bit slower. And then you can just reset off the knees. You don't even have to do a kneeling push-up after doing the negative. You could just sit your hips back and reset that top position. It just gives you a little bit of practice lowering under control in that full push-up shape. Okay, onto those prone Y raises. If you can, try and keep the elbows locked out. I know it's really tempting to bend them. Try and hold that top position. Don't worry if you're only just getting the hands off the floor. If you've got tight chest muscles, that's pretty normal. Onto the feet for the split squats. As I said, if you want to make it more difficult, you've got a sofa, weights, bench or chair, you could elevate the back foot up, turning it into a Bulgarian split squat. Switching sides, you've got 20 seconds between legs there. Okay, onto the hollow hold. This time I'll show you the half hollow, but feel free to stick with the full one if you found that okay. For the half hollow, you're basically just going to bring one knee into the chest, which tilts your pelvis, making it easier to keep the lower back flat. We're going to have the same torso and arm position. If you're struggling with the half hollow hold, actually, with the tuck hollow, it's too easy. You can do a half hollow with the arms here, like the tuck hollow. Let's switch legs around if you're in the half hollow position. Doesn't matter too much. The core brace feels similar, whichever way around your legs are. Make sure you keep that head and those upper back muscles off the mat as well. Okay, take a break. We're going to run through those 5 exercises one more time before moving on to section B. We'll give you some new ones. So I'll start off showing you those kneeling push-ups, if they're the ones you've opted for. So the mistake I see people make with kneeling push-ups is they don't bring their hips and chest to the floor. Instead, what I see people doing is they flare their elbows out too wide, and they tend to just dip their face towards the floor without bringing their hips and chest down. Ideally, I'd like you to bring your hips and chest down together and up together, pulling the elbows back towards the pockets. Trying to keep a nice straight line from knee to shoulder. Okay, let's get ready for those prone Y raises. Hopefully, after repeating this series and some of these workouts, you'll be able to move through the difficulty progressions. Onto the feet for those split squats. Try not to rest too long at the top. As soon as you come to the top position, which is easier, we want to come straight into the next rep, maximizing the time under tension. Switching sides. Go onto the hollow hold. I'll show you the easiest variation this time on the hollow hold, so you get a full-size demo of it. We're going to do a tuck hollow. Still good for the abs, but it's going to be the easiest one to keep your lower back flat. So if you start hugging your knees to your chest, and then you're just going to let go of your legs, turn the palms towards the ceiling, but keep the hands off the floor. Tuck the knees to the chest. Head and shoulders stay off the mat. Obviously, if you're able to do the half or the full, you should be going for that variation. And rest. You've got time to get yourself some water, and I'm going to go into the second section, section B, where I've got the same format but giving you 5 new exercises.
If you're looking to take your training to another level, my TPT studio has a wide variety of structured follow-along series you won't find on YouTube. It also includes workout plans to develop strength and calisthenics skills, as well as nutrition advice and a supportive community chat where I can answer your training questions. If you're ready to level up and want to find out more, follow the link in this video's description after the workout.
So you've got 3 options. The most advanced is the pike push-up. If not, you could do pike negative onlys. And if you can't do those, you could just do the pike hold. So you're going to lower down, making a tripod shape between the forehead and hands, keeping a high hip position. Again, try and pull the elbows somewhat back towards the pockets. You can unlock the knees slightly to stop the hamstrings tightening up too much and keep the tailbone lifted high. This should not look like a press up, it should look more like a shoulder press. If you want to make it really advanced, you could even elevate your feet on a chair, box or bench. Okay, next we're going to work the posterior chain. That just basically means up the back of the body. We're going to do some Supermans. If you're struggling with the regular Superman, you can do an alternating Superman instead. So engage the glutes, lift the chest as high as you can. Okay, onto the feet. I'm gonna work the legs and also test out that mobility. We're gonna do a squat to overhead reach. So start with your hands on your temples. Squat down, pause, extend into that Y shape. Return the hands, stand up, and then straight back into the next rep. So you're gonna pause in the bottom of each squat whilst you extend your arms into a Y shape. Keep low until your hands return to the temples. Point your thumbs back behind you. Work on a full lockout. Surprisingly difficult. Okay, let's isolate the back of the arm, the triceps, with some forearm push-ups. And these can be done off the knees to shorten the lever and make it easier. Have your hands further out in front and closer than you would for a press up. And we're going to slowly lower the elbows to the floor, then extend together. Try not to stagger them, try and have them come in sync. Engage the glutes, holding that core brace with a slight pelvic tilt. On to another posterior chain exercise with the reverse plank. If you struggle with that, you can opt for a slightly easier tabletop position. We're just going to hold at the top. Get the hips as high as you can, pulling the shoulder blades back, down and together. Pushing the chest up proud, engaging the glutes, feeling some tension right from the heels, up the calves, hamstrings, glutes, upper back. Trying to mix in some posterior chain exercises, which can be challenging when there's no equipment. If you have got a pull-up bar, you could add some chin-ups and pull-ups into this program. I'm keeping this no equipment for now. Okay, take a break. We've got 2 more rounds of those, and then we've got a shorter third section focusing more on the core. Get ready for the pike push-up, probably the hardest exercise today. The negatives, you just lower down like you would in a press up, but in the pike position, and then reset off the knees. Feel free to just hold that top position if you're struggling with the presses. So you can drop to the knees. I'll show you the negatives for this one. So you just lower down with control. And try and pause for a moment when my forehead's pretty much touching the floor. And then I just reset to restart each rep. So this would be the intermediate difficulty option. Okay, I'll show you a slightly easier variation on these Supermans. Maybe you find the full Superman uncomfortable, putting all that pressure on your stomach. You can go for an alternating limb Superman. So you'll be lifting your left leg and your right heel. Still engaging the glute, lifting your chest off the floor, even with the alternating. Onto the feet for those squat to overhead reaches. Don't worry if it doesn't look exactly like mine. You'll get better with practice, so just squat as low as you're able to and then extend into as neat a Y raise as you can. You want your feet slightly turned out in your most comfortable squat width. Everyone's got different shaped hips and different levels of ankle mobility. So if someone's squatting narrower than you, but you prefer to squat wider, that's fine. And vice versa, if you prefer a narrower stance squat, don't let someone tell you should be wider if it feels comfortable for you. Get onto those forearm push-ups. I'll show you the kneeling variation. I'll just roll the mat up under my knees for a little bit of comfort. So again, we should have a straight line from knee up to shoulder. Elbows drop together, extend together. Keep the glutes engaged, got that slight pelvic tilt in as if you were doing a front plank. Okay, into the tabletop or the reverse plank. I'll show you the tabletop. Most people find it easier. I think I actually find the reverse plank easier, just because the tabletop is a little bit harder on the shoulder flexibility, but it's easier on the strength elements. Okay, we're gonna have one final time through of those 5 exercises before finishing off with a shorter core section. Get ready for those challenging pike push-ups, pike negatives, or the pike hold. I'll show you the pike hold. Pike push-ups are good as a progression on to doing handstand push-ups. And the pike hold is also good at starting to develop some handstand support and stability. So if you're going for the pike hold, just get your shoulders stacked over the wrists. Slightly unlock the knees, but lift the tailbone high. You can do a pike hold with your feet elevated as well, almost putting your body into sort of an upside down L shape. Make sure you're not sinking into the shoulders, you should be actively pushing through the hands. Onto those Supermans or alternating Supermans. Onto the feet for the squat to Y raise. Onto the forearm push-ups, whether you're going for the full or the kneeling variation. reverse plank or tabletop, whichever one feels best for you. They're both working similar muscles. Okay, we're on to the final section. This is just 5 movements, all core based, and we're just going to do it for 1 round, and then that's day 1 of this Calisthenics 2.0 series complete. You can download your program guide in the description of this video, so make sure you do that once you finish. We've got a long lever plank. You can do this kneeling if you prefer. So the long lever just means the elbows a bit further away from the toes than a regular plank. That program guide that I mentioned has got a schedule telling you what days to do what workouts. It's got some extra lifestyle tips to do alongside the program, and some nutrition tips, so it's well worth a free download if you want to do that. Okay, next up, we're going to do a controlled bicycle crunch. This is basically like an oblique crunch. Opposite elbow towards the opposite knee. You've always got one heel on the floor. You're basically stepping, alternating sides, and then adding a twist into the torso. Whilst I make contact with one elbow with the knee, I like to twist and touch the other one on the floor. If you can't get to your knee, don't worry, just get as close as you can. Your legs should go almost straight with a slight bend. Okay, we've got a side plank now. You can do a half side plank, and this one is only going to be for 30 seconds. If you're going for the half side plank, you just bend the bottom knee, but keep the top leg straight. Switching sides. Okay, we're going to finish with a dead bug, so lie on your back. This time your head can stay on the floor. We're going to drop opposite knee and arm down and then return them both to the center. Just like the hollow hold, you're trying to brace your core to avoid any excessive arching of the lower back. What I recommend with this is don't try and do lots of reps. Just take your time, re-brace that center position each time. Well done for completing day one. If you want to join me for the rest of the series, it's available exclusively on the TPT Virtual Studio, linked in the description of this video, where you can get access to not only the series, but a whole selection of other workouts and resources not available on YouTube. I hope you can join me tomorrow for day 2.